Hello, you awesome mission advancer, you. Welcome to another CupoJoe. I'm your host, Joe Tumalo, CEO of Major and Plan Giving Development, providing you actionable, tactical, and practical ideas to help you increase your fundraising revenue and have fun in the process. Today, I'm going to talk about a survey approach to qualifying donors and working with donors. And this is a two-part series. This video one, I'm going to focus on two ideas. The first idea is taking a survey approach when you're calling a donor that's really not expecting your call. My favorite types of calls. Could be a prospective donor, not a donor yet. A survey approach, I think, is less threatening for the donor. Like, I'm not calling to ask you for money over the phone. This is really, I don't use the word, but it's really, I've done a lot of hospital work last couple of years. And so I might say, I'm calling to take your temperature. How are you feeling about being a donor? Thank you for being a donor, of course. You're giving more than a lot of other physicians or nurses can ask you why you're so generous to us. How are you feeling about being a donor? What one thing could we do to provide better service to you as a donor? Are we communicating effectively? Do you have a good sense of where your money is going, your donations are going? What is the likelihood, right? This is all, I'm not asking you to commit to anything, kind of like a campaign, a capital campaign feasibility study where you're mentally preparing the person to maybe do something down the road, but we're just asking questions. What's the likelihood you'd be open to a conversation about doing more now or down the road through your estate? My favorite, and this is from my friend Jessica Pastusik. Jessica gave me this a couple of years ago. And it's, if I could give you, or we could give you a compelling reason to do more, how would you feel around a conversation around that? I love that. Right now, that's later in the conversation, especially if they're gushing and they're saying, oh, I love you guys. I love the work. It's really important to me. I'll use that towards the end. So that's survey approach number one. The next one is more of an actual physical survey. So if I'm trying to get a donor on the phone, they're not responding, and I've made the appropriate amount of attempts, which I always recommend that you have. If you have like longtime loyal donors, not qualified yet, but it looks like there's something there, I would highly recommend that you have a metric around, okay, how many times am I going to try to approach this donor before I move on? Maybe I'll put them to the side and try them again in 6 to 9 months. Might just be a bad time, right? So, but once I've done all that, my final step in trying to connect with the donor is a donor survey in the mail. And I'm happy to provide this for you free of charge. Just email me, joe@mpgdevelopment.com, joe@mpgdevelopment.com. And the letter is, thank you, been trying to reach you. We may not be able to connect. Please know your support is really important in having an impact. Throw a little impact statement in there. Would you take 5 minutes to fill out the attached survey? And the survey is only 5 questions. One of the questions, my favorite, is, of all your favorite charities, where is ABC charity on your list? Are we number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or not at all, right? If they check number 1, then wow, right? I'm not going to give up. But what I do find is if they check number 1 and they return the survey, the likelihood of them responding to my next phone call goes up dramatically. So every time a donor fills out the survey, returns it, I always call them again to try to get them. And 90% of the time, they answer. Now they know who I am, why I'm calling, and they have a little bit of a skin in the game now because they spent the time to do the survey. So again, happy to send that to you. If you ever feel like, wow, we could be doing so much more with Plan Giving and we need help, and you want to have a 15-minute, no obligation conversation, please call us, 610-653-7906, or email joe@mpgdevelopment.com. And then check out in a couple of weeks, part 2 of this survey approach. All the best.